Hi everyone. Sorry it took me such a long time to get to another video. Many reasons, but one of the main reason is I could not find a topic that was not very advanced and not very basic too, because I have to do it, so I have to feel some kind of excitement. If it's too basic, I'm just looking at my screen and thinking, why am I doing this? Anyway, so I had to find a topic that worked too, was not very advanced, so you could do it by yourself if you want. And it took me some time. So, and also that it's very cold, so I don't have myself walking around somewhere. Sorry for that too, but next time I'll be more creative. There will be music, there will be walks, there will be a nice place to see. And today in this video, we are going to talk about a planet which is very important for your career. And this planet is called Amatyakaraka. I'm going to show you how to calculate which is Amatyakaraka and how it is affecting your career. I hope that I am quite, easy to understand. If you have such problems with any of my video, you should always write a comment and let me know. Because my goal is to, have you understand, you, the viewer. So you should definitely tell me. And if you're able to identify your Amatyakaraka and find out, you can actually see whether your career choices are aligned with what your planets are indicating, and therefore you can most benefit, from we call it karma alignment. So you can align your career to what you should be doing. It's always difficult to align with something, but maybe this helps you. So have a good time. Hope you enjoy it. Bye. With this video, we will try to understand the role of Amatyakaraka and how it is crucial for your career. So it's a story of your career, and you can tell everything by looking at the Amatyakaraka. I have tested this myself and I have found it to be accurate. So hopefully this would also help you. And if you have any questions or you need help, you can always take a consultation with me and we can work this through, which I always prefer because then you can do everything, understand your career, understand the promotion times or bad times in your career yourself. So let's understand what is Amatyakaraka. Who do we call Amatyakaraka? Amatyakaraka is the planet which is at the second highest degree in your chart. So if you have your chart in front of you, the planets are also indicated at certain degrees when you were born, right? And there will be a planet which has the highest degrees. This planet is called the Atmakarka or the soul Karka. There will be another planet which will be at the second highest degree. This planet you have to find, and this planet is called the Amatyakarka. We will do this exercise just in a few minutes, so hold your horses. And this Amatyakarka, this planet can be considered the second in command in your chart. So if there is a court and there is a king, then Atmakarka is like the king of your chart, and the second in command or the chief minister is Amatyakaraka. If Amatyakarka and Atmakarka have, they are trying to each other or good connections, then the energy flows very well from Amatyakarka to Atmakarka, and you're on the right path in your life. Amatyakarka decides the career, it decides the success in career and smooth flow of profession. So it becomes extremely important in this way. I have made this video indicating steps that you need to do, and you might need to see this video again and again. Go ahead, take screenshots if you need to, take pen and paper when you sit down, keep your chart in front of you. I'm again taking the example of the same chart so that it is a little more convenient for you to follow, but you can do this on your own chart if that helps. So the first step in identifying Amatyakaraka and its role in your profession, the first step is to actually find the Amatyakaraka. we need to find the planet with the second highest degrees. So here is the chart that we have been following, Taurus ascendant with Rahu in it. And here are the degrees of these planets. They are listed, including ascendant and Rahu Ketu. Now, many astrologers also use Rahu to identify the Amatyakaraka, Atmakaraka, but as it is just a shadow point, I do not prefer it. And also during my calculations, I found this not to be true. So I only use the 7 planets to find the different karkas. So here first we have to identify the highest degree planet, which is our Atmakaraka. For this chart, it is Mars because it is present at 29 degrees 56 minutes in Libra. So that is our Atmakaraka. You also need to make a note of Atmakaraka for the whole calculation. So go ahead and do this in your own chart also. And then we have to look for the second highest degree planet, and here it is Moon, which is at 27 degrees 40 minutes at Libra. So you can see Moon is the Amatyakaraka for this native. In the step 2, we need to find the Karakapsa Lagna. Now I have briefly talked about this in my last video, but I'll mention it again. So Karakamsa Lagna is the position of Atmakarka in D9. For this example, we have followed this example before too. This is the D9 or the Namamsha, right? And we need to find where the Atmakarka is sitting in D9. That place or that sign is the Karakamsa Lagna. So we already identified that Mars is the Atmakarka. So we look at where is Mars sitting, and we can see that Mars is sitting in the Gemini sign. So the Karakamsa Lagna is Gemini, right? We are going to write it down and we are going to label it as Karakamsa Lagna. In the step 3, now we are going to find the position of Amatyakaraka. So listen very carefully because this part can confuse you. It's very easy once you start doing it, but it can be confusing because we are combining the information between D1 and D9. Step 3 is find the position of Amatyakaraka from Karakamsa Lagna in D1. So from D9, right, from the previous chart, we identified the Karakamsa Lagna, which was Gemini. Now we find where is this Gemini in D1, in the Rasi chart. So this is the D1 chart of this native, and Gemini is here in the second house, right? So we have to now make this our priority. And from this Gemini in D1, we are going to count till where is the Amatyakaraka. So we already know that Moon is the Amatyakaraka. So we will count from Gemini till Moon, which is sitting in Libra. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So Amatyakaraka is sitting in the 5th house from the Karakamsa Lagna in D1. So when you do the calculation, you might have to watch this step 3 again because this can be a little confusing. But we are identifying the Karakamsa Lagna in D9 and then using that information in D1, right? And then we are counting till Amatyakaraka to identify the position of Amatyakaraka from the Karakamsa Lagna. Now that we know the position of Amatyakaraka from Karakamsa, this position becomes really crucial, really important. And this is going to give the direction of the career, the nature of the profession. For example, for this native, we see that Amatyakaraka is in the 5th house when counted from Karakamsa Lagna. So when this 1-5 combination comes, this means this person could be into teaching or some creative pursuits because 5th is also creativity, and they may also earn through their hobbies. So I know for a fact that this native is a teacher and also is very creative. So this makes sense. The same way you can read the other houses also. If Amatyakaraka is in the same house as Karakamsa Lagna, then this is a strong indication, because this means that the soul's path is entwined with the career. This will be a very self-driven person, and their self-identity would be very, very important to them. So, lot of things will open up for this person, and you will see that they're very driven about their career. And this also means they will be very intelligent. If Amatyakaraka is in second house from Karakamsa Lagna, this usually means that they make their wealth through advice and counseling, or it could also mean family business. I'm not writing all the significations because the list becomes really huge. I'm giving you the most important indications which will help you solve it for most of the people. Amatyakaraka in the third house would actually mean that the person becomes successful using their own efforts, or they're very communicative, they are into marketing, or they have very strong communication. So these become important part of their career, and all of these characteristics will be visible in that person. Amatyakaraka in the fourth house from Karakamsa Lagna means that the person will do home-based business or may also deal with property. So you will have to look at the whole chart to identify which one comes through. Fifth, I already mentioned. Similarly, if Amatyakaraka is in sixth from Karakamsa, then they are service-oriented and they might have to overcome a lot of obstacles, but that means they are also very hardworking and patient and competitive. So competitive fields will also be good for them. If Amatyakaraka is in seventh house from Karakamsa Lagna, you will see that they are very business oriented. They are successful in business. If it is in eighth, this may show you a researcher or somebody who gets inheritance from family, so wealth is not an issue there, or some kind of transformative, occultist, astrology career. Amatyakaraka in ninth house from Karakamsa Lagna usually endows luck on the native. They are very spiritual, and when they do some kind of higher learning, they become successful. Religion also brings luck for them, and this also can mean that when they go really long distance from home, their career shines. In the 10th house, this is actually a Raj Yoga, and the person usually has high status, can be very famous, and can be a very successful leader. In the 11th house, this can show gains or having very influential friends, that's also true, and careers in this manner, where you will benefit from influential friends. And 12th house can show success as well as loss also, because 12th itself is a loss. In foreign lands, a very spiritual person or some kind of work where hidden activity is required. There are works where hidden activity may be required, like a spy, for example. So we already identified the position of Amatyakaraka for this example, and we know that Gemini is the Karakamsa Lagna and Amatyakaraka is in 5th house from Karakamsa Lagna. If we look at the nature of this 1-5 connection, we see that teacher and through hobbies comes up. This is correct for this native. In the step 5, now we look at the sign in which Amatyakaraka is posited, right? Because it is showing the nature of the profession. So the sign of Amatyakaraka also becomes important. Again, this list is not complete because the significations are much more. I have just listed the 5 most common significations. If you're looking at your own chart, you might need to look at the whole list and also compile all the information together to get to the right, indication. So Amatyakaraka can be in any of these signs: Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, till Pisces. And all these different signs have different professions that can be signified by them. For example, if somebody's Amatyakaraka is in Aries, this person can be a leader, they can be surgeons, they can be metal workers, they can also be farmers and engineers. Similarly, if a person's Amatyakaraka is in Capricorn, they also have leader capacity. They usually work with some sort of liquid goods, water goods. They can be architects, they are civil servants or engineers. Any of these significations can happen. So if you want, you can take a screenshot, but remember this list is not complete. This is just to give you an idea. So now we do the step 5 for the example chart, and we know that Amatyakaraka is posited in Libra sign in the D1, right? So Libra is connected to lawyers, beauticians, jewelers, liaison work, teachers, and physicians. So we know that this native is a teacher, so that is also binding together. Libra is a very relationship oriented communicative sign, so this person communicates very well as a teacher. This is how you should be reading it. In the step 6, now we identify which planet is Amatyakaraka, exactly which planet, because now we want to look at the significations of the planet itself. This is very important because if Moon is Amatyakaraka or Saturn is Amatyakaraka, it changes everything how your profession is going to play out. For example, if Saturn is Amatyakaraka, you're going to need to do hard work, there might be delays, you might work in the government, you can be a social worker because Saturn also is for servants, so you might be helping people who are underprivileged. Saturn also shows judicial officers and public leaders in comparison to, for example, when Moon is Amatyakaraka. Moon is the mind itself. So Moon Amatyakaraka means intellectuals, people who like to do, intellectual work, moreover hard work like in Saturn. They are philosophers, spiritual. They might be working on in liquid industry or ladies products because Moon is mother. So that may also happen, and they can be bureaucrats also because Moon and Sun, for example, these are luminaries or royal planets. So they can also signify some sort of bureaucracy or powerful people. Other than this, it is also important to understand if Amatyakaraka is conjunct any planet because it is going to take up energy of that planet also. So, for example, Sun is the Amatyakaraka, so it has all this energy, and somebody's Mars is also sitting with Sun. Then these two are going to combine together, and you should be looking at Sun Mars together when you try to understand Amatyakaraka and profession. Let's apply the step 6 on the example chart. We already identified all this information, and now we are looking at which planet exactly. So this is Moon is the Amatyakaraka for this native, and we will write down the different significations. So being a teacher is a intellectual work also, and because this native also does research, so this is sort of intellectual work. This Moon is conjunct with Saturn and Mars, so those energies are also carried into this native's life. So it most probably she or he is also doing hard work, requires a lot of patience, puts in a lot of energy of Mars. Mars is pure energy, so he's putting a lot of energy into their work. Other than that, in professional scenario, we will also look at what are the significations of Mars and what are the significations of Saturn, and we compile them together. I know for a fact that this native is working in government, is a teacher, and also doing research work, investigative nature work. So this makes sense. Now comes the most important step. It's good to know everything about your career, and it is good to know whether you're aligned with your career, right? So from the information that I gave you till now, you will see whether you're doing the career that is going to be successful or you're doing something else altogether. which I guess you will see that in almost all readings of mine, I found this to be correct. So you should end up seeing your own career only, but you will see whether obstacles are there or not. But the most important thing that you need to know, or anyone needs to know, is when the next opportunity comes, I want to grab it. And sometimes there are some obstacles because of the position of Rahu, for example, which can result in a native being confused. So an opportunity is coming into their life, but because of Rahu, the native is fearful, they are scared, they do not see the opportunity as the opportunity but are scared about it. Right, so an indication or some kind of calculation if you can do to identify when an opportunity will come in profession can greatly help such people, right? Like you can tell that don't worry, this is an opportunity, this is not a downfall, this is just an illusion that you're seeing. That can really help a native, right? So how do you use all this information about Amatyakaraka to help somebody in need, for example, right? Or yourself in need. For example, if you find in your chart that there is something going on that you're never able to really identify your opportunity as opportunity, but you're always confused at that time, and then the opportunity passes, and then suddenly you realize, oh my god, I missed this, right? So how to avoid such problems? So what you're going to do now, this is a little more work, and maybe some of the beginners cannot really do this, but again, as I say, if you want, I can consult with you and I can teach you this during the consultation, and then you can do it for yourself however you like. When Saturn, Rahu, or Jupiter, right, these three planets, when they will transit and make contact with the Amatyakaraka. So when I'm saying Saturn, Rahu, or Jupiter, I'm talking about the planets in the real time. These are not the planet of your chart, right? These are fixed. This chart is fixed now. For this native, this Rahu is always in Taurus. This is the energy that this native carries. Rahu in Taurus in first house. This is not going to change. This native is always going to behave like this. This is a natal Rahu. When I talk about Saturn, Rahu, or Jupiter in transit, I'm talking about the planets in the real time, right? None of these planets stopped after your birth. They're still transiting. They're still moving on their eclipses around the sun. So we are going to look at where these planets are when Saturn, Rahu, or Jupiter are transiting and they are making contact with the Amatyakaraka. For this example chart, we already know Moon is the Amatyakaraka, and whenever these planets make contact with this Amatyakaraka, in different ways. There are ways. Trine. Trine means 159, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the 5th house from Amatyakaraka. In the 9th house from Amatyakaraka. Or opposition or conjunction in the same degrees. What is important is that this effect will be visible only in the plus minus 3 degrees. This you will have to do as an exercise for your chart. But you will see this. So for example, for this native, this moon was at 27 degrees, which means that whenever Saturn is moving through Aquarius, 27 degrees plus minus 3 degrees, it will affect the moon. And some changes at profession level will take place. Another example, Jupiter is transiting Aries around 27 degrees plus minus 3 degrees will affect the Amatyakaraka. Rahu is transiting Gemini at 27 degrees plus minus 3 degrees will affect Amatyakaraka. Right? So this is how you have to read this for your own chart too. Now the effect itself will depend on the transiting planet, because Saturn, Rahu, Jupiter are different types of planets. Now I've seen it many times. Jupiter is called the natural benefic, right? Which means it is the planet of luck, it brings luck. This is how we look at Jupiter, right? Wherever Jupiter is transiting in your chart, right now, it's giving as much luck as it can. So whenever Jupiter will transit these points, you will feel lucky, you'll feel easygoing, and you might end up making a professional promotion. Make sense? When Saturn transits these points, you will see you will have to work hard. You will still get the promotion, but you will have to show diligence, you'll have to show hard work, you might have to go through a critical review, right? So the way the planet will behave will also affect your professional rise, right? If Rahu is transiting, Rahu is like illusion, which just means that as an astrologer, I cannot really tell you if Rahu is going to give you a rise or a fall, right? So something will happen in your career. You start mapping your own chart using this information, and you see at when Rahu was transiting a certain point, affecting Amatyakaraka, did you get a promotion or did you get a fall? If you do this enough, you will already start to understand what is going to happen the next time Rahu comes around, right? The duration in which you will see this effect happening will depend on the planet speed. So we know that Saturn, Rahu, Jupiter, they are all slow moving planet. Also the reason that we are able to see these things much more clearly, but they have different speeds too. So for example, for Jupiter, it will be a period of around 2 to 3 weeks that you will see that you're getting a promotion, things are starting to look up, people are talking about it, that you might get it, and then in the 2 3 weeks phase, you will get it. For Rahu, it's a little bit different. For Saturn, it's a much longer time. It may be 3 to 4 weeks that you will see the same thing. So this is really important, and I hope you are all able to benefit from it and also able to understand it and apply it. So know that it has worked. All these calculations have worked on all the charts that I have done these for. So if you try to do these, you can also come up with data. If you have any queries, you can always get a consultation and we can sort of also study together. Or if you want me to do it for you, you can also do that. But this is some very accurate predictive astrology, and I hope everybody can benefit from it.